This is Swiss and Chips, your British guide to Switzerland. Hello, welcome to Swiss and Chips. I'm Jo.
And I am Simon.
So this week we're talking about this very, very contentious issue, possibly the most contentious issue before coronavirus, but we're not talking about that today. And it's basically, how on earth do you actually make friends with the Swiss? And I think this is a very specific issue in the Swiss German-speaking part of the country.
Yes, I think it's also for me as a Swiss, it's quite an interesting and sensitive topic, because obviously it's not great to hear that it's so hard to become friends with Swiss. So, but obviously we want also to be open and so on. But yeah, I think it's an interesting topic for both sides. So
yeah. And obviously at the moment, we're not really meeting much people, any of us.
Yeah.
But it's a kind of long, ongoing discussion in Switzerland for expats. And recently in our Facebook group, which is called Switzerland for English Speakers, if you want to check it out, quite a big discussion kicked off about how to make friends with the Swiss.
Exactly. There was Elias, he asked the question, what is the biggest challenge you are facing when building or expanding your social circle in Switzerland? And there were more than 140 comments so far, and obviously it was very tense. Also, we had to moderate a few because it got a bit too much, I think. And yeah, it's a very interesting topic, and instantly it blew off with commenting.
Yeah, and we talked about it a bit when we saw this discussion going on. And then today we got talking about it again because of something else that happened, which I will come back to a bit later.
Exactly.
And yeah, it's tough. I mean, lots of people complain that it's really hard to meet Swiss people, first of all, and then second of all, how to kind of really become friends with them. And one thing that somebody wrote in our group that kind of struck a chord with me is they said, I can't remember the precise words, but that Swiss seem to have friends from childhood and stick with them.
Yes.
And I think for a lot of us, we think, well, why can't you also be friends with me? You know, surely there's room for more people in your social circle. And we talked about that today. You know, it feels like something personally against us non-Swiss because, of course, we weren't here.
Yes, that's totally true. I mean, first of all, I think it's important we will link to that specific post that was in our Facebook group, because there are also many very good comments where people try to help, you know, what can you do to become friends? And I think from the top of my head, we already made an episode about how to become friends with the Swiss person.
Yeah, we did.
So there are many interesting comments, for example, like join meetup or create groups yourself where you can go, or join clubs and so on. So I think we don't really go too much into detail there. Just we will link to the episode and the post. What was your question again?
Oh yeah, it was this question about, do the Swiss only have friends from childhood?
And then exactly, and then also one comment was like what you said, and it's true. I think most Swiss, they have friends from childhood, but I assume that's in many countries the same, because you know them for the longest. So you have maybe not friends from like when you were 6 or 10, but you might have friends from when you are 20, when you made your studies or your first job or whatever. And that's the same here in Switzerland. I think you spend lots of time with these people, so the chance is pretty high that you made some friends then, which will stay over the years, especially if you don't move. You know, if you
I think
move
it's this moving thing that is a point.
If you move abroad, then you will lose many friends, and maybe only 1 or 2 will stick or stay. But if you move in Switzerland, it's the same. If you move quite to a different part of Switzerland, you might also lose quite a few of your friends. So, and then you will have exactly the same problem like an expat has. So you'll move to a new place where you don't know anyone, and you will have 0 friends there.
And we were talking about this while on one of our daily walks under the lockdown, this issue of, you know, living in a city versus living in a village. You know, obviously in a city, you've got loads more things to do, shops, cinemas, and so on. But you don't necessarily have to meet the people who live around you, as opposed to a village like where you grew up. You know everyone automatically.
Yeah.
I think a lot of expats, when they come to Switzerland, they live in cities at first, Zurich or Basel or Geneva, for example. And on the surface, it might seem like that's a better way to meet people because there's lots of different people there. But I think once you've been there a little while, you realise that these friends don't come automatically. No. You've really got to find them.
I think it's important to know that this has nothing really to do with your nationality. Obviously, there are idiots and, not good people everywhere. But with these, you don't want to be friends anyway. But for everyone, it's the same. Also, if you are a Swiss person or not, it's not easy to find new friends in Switzerland. That's true. And if you are in a city, then it's very anonymous without really joining a club or making friends with your people at work or something, or and be very active in finding new friends. Then you won't find any friends. That's true. And also, I think many Swiss are just happy with the situation they are in. So they have a few friends and they're not looking actively to make new friends. So it will be totally up to you to really make the first steps again and again and again. If you want to become friends with your neighbor, then you will have to knock on their door maybe more than once. Yeah.
You've got to be really daring to
because you have to see the neighbor might be in a situation where they already have friends and they have family and stuff and things going on, and they're not really like actively looking for friends. But I'm pretty sure, obviously I can only speak for me, but I'm pretty sure most Swiss people are open to have new friends as well. It's not that they don't want new friends, it's just they're not looking for new friends.
Yeah. And what somebody wrote in our group that I found pretty interesting was that you have to go through something with somebody in order to really kind of have a friendship that lasts. And I thought, that's an interesting point.
Yeah.
I know a lot of expats in Switzerland have made friends, obviously not with the Swiss, but with other people when they've gone on a German course together. And I think that's a super interesting point, especially if you start together and you stick with the class, because then you get to know someone, you see them regularly, and you kind of do something together over the course of years. I know quite a few people have made friends like that. Obviously not with the Swiss, but I think you're maybe looking for something like that with a Swiss person where you really do something together.
But I mean, that's exactly the school problem or the school topic. So you went to school with them, you meet them again and again, you get to know them better. It's not even only to go through something. It's also to have a same experience, but also to know someone better over the time. You maybe know a bit more about their private life or if they have a family and so on. And then obviously you get to know people better, and that's a higher chance to become friends.
Yeah. And a topic that came up today was because this morning I went to renew my C permit.
Yep.
Because I've been here nearly 10 years now. Woohoo! And I went to renew my permit, which went well. Nice, friendly people at the office. That was all great. And then I wanted to find out about the naturalization process, because I can also do that after 10 years. And regular listeners to the podcast will know that we kind of got the ball rolling about a year ago. I went to an information evening to find out what's needed. And today at the office to get my permit, I saw that the counter where you can go and ask about becoming Swiss was closed. So I rang them up on the phone to find out when will it open again and what's happening, and ended up having quite a long and very detailed conversation with the woman at the office. And she started asking me quite a few questions. And you were listening in the other room.
Yeah.
Yep, to see what's happening. And it was just a kind of unexpected conversation. And afterwards we got talking about this difficulty of knowing exactly what somebody's intention is when you're not speaking your own language. And for me, I wasn't really sure, is she making notes now? Is this going in a file, or does she just want to sort of chit-chat in a friendly way?
Yeah, I think to sum it up, I think it makes it really, really hard and difficult as well in the Swiss-German part of Switzerland, to make new friends, because there is this language barrier.
Yeah.
And it's not only that you don't really understand only the German part, it's also the Swiss German. It's even further away from understanding, and the big problem is that you can't really read in between the lines, or I think it takes long time to read in between the lines. So
to make this like small talk.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Difficult.
It's to find out, because you can say something like hey, your garden looks nice, or hey, what's up with your garden? And it's one sentence, but it can mean like 100 different things. It can mean
totally.
like, hey, what's wrong with your garden, or what's great, or can you help me, or all sorts of things. And usually, obviously, if you grew up in Switzerland, then you know what it means without explanation.
Yeah.
But if you
Small
if you
talk's so
already struggle
difficult.
with the language, and then it needs some experience, I think, to also get this in between.
Yes, it's the
message.
in-betweeny stuff is totally missing. I was talking to your sister a few days ago, and you hadn't arrived yet, and trying to, make some kind of beginny natural small talk in German is not that easy.
Yeah.
And I said something like, so, got any news? And then she was kind of like, what kind of news? I just meant it very casually, but obviously it didn't come across very casually.
Yeah.
And it's just, how do you make this
and
casual
I think
conversation?
That's a big hurdle already to get in touch on a daily basis with people.
Yeah.
And obviously, if you get in touch all the time with people, then there is a higher chance that some of them become friends.
Yeah.
I think that's maybe something where you have it's more complicated.
Yeah, it's just like casual, setting the right tone, all these kind of like finer details.
Exactly. It's basically
Slightly
the
difficult.
communication problem is just there. So what do you send and what is received on the other end and everything like that. But yeah, basically to sum it up, when I read all these comments in the Facebook group, obviously I think it's I feel really bad because I think people should feel happy and welcome in Switzerland. I know that most people in Switzerland, they have like open arms for expats coming to Switzerland. Otherwise, we wouldn't have that many. So we want to have them here, and we like them. They should be well integrated, and we really, obviously I'm talking here about not about everyone, it's clear, but I think the general tone is positive. But what I understand is that always the first step has to come from the other side. And that's probably what it makes it so difficult. It always has to come from an expat that tries to find groups and integrate here, integrate there. So yeah, it's difficult. But yeah, I don't really have any advice how to make it easier, except like joining groups, joining clubs.
Keep learning the language, basically. Keep at it.
Yeah, exactly.
The other thing that came...
Sorry,
yeah, sure.
But sorry, but
One more thing.
I missed the most important part, and I think it's when I read these comments, I think it's really important to also know that this has not much to do with if you're a foreigner or not. If you're an expat or not, it's difficult. I'm sure people coming as Swiss person from the Italian speaking part, and they come to Bern, for example, and don't speak any Swiss German. Also for them, it's very hard to make new friends here.
That's
so
true.
It has not much to do with the nationality. It's more, maybe it's a language problem, but also it's just not very easy. It's true.
The one thing I was going to say on a positive note...
I wanted to say one more thing, but now
Did
I'm
I
not
ever
allowed
mention
it.
the Swiss
Sorry.
never stop talking? I'm just kidding.
You go.
Thank you. One positive thing that I thought about was, we talk a lot as expats about how hard it is to meet the Swiss, but there are a lot of binational couples in this country. So somewhere along the line, it is working out.
Yes, but that's just, there are so many expats somewhere, you will have, the odds are just...
They
No,
meet.
it's true.
But I mean, you might...
No, it's true.
Expats, we might not have that many Swiss friends, but a lot of us are married to or in a relationship with a Swiss person. That's many of the reasons why we're here also for lots of people. So, it can work. It's what I'm trying to say.
It can work, yes.
Don't give up hope.
And also, I think maybe... I don't know, but I can imagine also that maybe a friendship for a Swiss person means something different, because we have casual friendships, but then they're very casual. And if you want, it also depends, what do you understand? What does that mean to become friends with the Swiss? And if you have a Swiss friend, then the chances that are quite high that you will have a Swiss friend for life.
Whether you want them or not.
Yes.
That's a joke.
So, yeah. If you have a Swiss friend, they will be there for you. They will help you if you have problems and so on, I think.
Yeah. That's true.
It's maybe quite hard to get on that level, but then, once you're there, then...
Yeah, I get what you're saying. And it's also because, if you have an actual relationship with a Swiss person, that takes a lot of time and a lot of effort. But you know what I mean? You invest a lot of time and a lot of emotion in making that work, don't you?
Yeah.
Which you perhaps wouldn't with just a casual kind of friendship.
Yes.
So maybe what we're trying to say is if you actually want to have, Swiss friends, you really need to invest a lot of time and a lot of effort in that. But you will have something very long lasting at the end of it.
Yeah, yeah. And I think what a big problem is also that we don't have like so many like casual friendships, and that's why it's also not so easy if you are new to this country, or if you moved, like I said, if you are a Swiss person, you move to a new place, it's quite hard to like go out on a Thursday or something and have a drink with a few friends, because no one is really doing that. You know what I mean? So we don't have these in-betweeny things. I think that is also something that makes it quite hard, I guess.
Yeah, less kind of casual get-togethers.
Yeah, so
generally.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So to sum it up, I think you can only try to stay positive and don't take it personal if it's quite hard, and try again and try new things, try different ways, or like we made a few new friends in our Facebook group when we had meetups, and
yeah, that was great.
That is a way to make new friends, and that is possible now easier than it was maybe 20 years ago, I think. And like I said, join a club, or join the club.
Yeah,
like
once you're allowed to, obviously.
Try. I don't know.
Keep trying, and try not to take it too personally if the first few things don't work out. I guess that's the point, isn't it?
Yeah.
Put your best foot forward.
Exactly. And if push comes to shove, join our Facebook group, organize a meetup, and say, I want to make new friends, and then I'm sure it will work out.
Yeah, once we're allowed to get together again.
Oh, well, or just an online meetup.
Yeah, also nice. Cool.
All right.
Okay, so thanks very much for listening.
Yeah, that probably wasn't very helpful, but at least I thought we chose this topic also that sometimes I feel like there is an expat view and a Swiss view, and maybe it's interesting for you out there to listen to the both views coming together, so you can paint your own picture. Can I say that? Paint your own picture. Make your,
form your own opinion.
Yeah, exactly. So you have now both sides a little bit, and then it gives you maybe an idea what the situation is.
Yeah.
To deal better with it. Although we don't have like a
we don't have a solution, but I guess we're just trying to tell people who haven't been here so long, it's not that, all Swiss people never want to make friends with you. It's just not really that clear cut, is it?
Yeah. Good.
So.
And if you're really nice, extremely cool.
Yeah.
Here is my number.
Hang on a second.
All right.
Okay.
So.
Thanks very much for listening.
On that note,
and
day 170 in the quarantine. Let's just end it here.
Okay.
Thanks for listening.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.